The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Eagles! Swinging a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Yo, dudes.
Yo,
What's going on?
Philly, what is going on?
What is going
Don's
on?
blowing up. People need
Don.
to get in touch with Don because Don
Yeah.
Don Juan's a hot commodity.
Hey, listen.
How
You
about
know,
it?
listen. I'm anxiously waiting the inclement weather school alert. Maybe a late delay. Maybe a virtual day. Who knows?
Are we supposed to get snow tomorrow?
We are supposed to have inclement weather.
What the fuck
Yes.
does that mean?
It means
that means they don't know.
freezing
Yeah.
rain, cold stuff.
So basically,
Yeah.
sunshine and rainbows. 90-degree day in December. That's inclement for me.
Correct.
Wait, are you
Rich.
saying inclement weather is actually weather of the season?
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season for that weird fucking weather. Welcome back, everybody. Episode
Welcome back.
98 of Drunk on
98.
Broad. Drunk on Broad. We've come a long way. Joe is here with us this evening. Always good to have Joe back.
Appreciate
Obviously,
it.
Don Juan and myself, Rich, we are here, the Drunk on Broad crew. Jason is MIA right now. Where the fuck are you? And that's pretty much it. Hey,
How
Chris,
about
what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Chris,
Hey,
is sending me
Rich.
Chris is sending me all the stuff on Facebook, letting me know what's going on in the Phillies and Eagles world with all the trades and all the, transactions of former Phillies players that I could honestly, Chris, I love you, but I don't care where Noah Syndergaard goes. See you later, cuz. Same thing with Kyle Gibson. See you later, cuz. And Zach Eflin. See you later, cuz. Three guys I am not mad that they are not on the Phillies roster. But boys, 12-1.
Woo,
About it.
12-1, boys.
about it.
How about that, boys? Jesus. What a
About it.
romping.
Let's go.
What a-
Talk about it, Rich.
I mean,
Go.
just a good old romping of your
Right.
New Jersey Giants because they don't play anymore. I mean, the only good defense that the Giants have is the turf monster, is that terrible field that they have that keeps injuring theirs and our own players, which kind of pisses me off. And are they doing anything to address the problem? Yeah, they're going to get artificial grass. What the fuck
That's
is
great.
artificial grass? Isn't that the same thing as turf? It's fly equals fly all the way, boys.
Right.
Fuck New York.
Yeah.
Like,
it was and the catch, the hashtag going around social media, right? The massacre at the Meadowlands. It was
it was ugly.
They blew the
Ugly.
doors
it
off.
was.
Yeah.
Oof. I mean, I was watching that game and I'm like, this Eagles team is fucking scary. I watched a lot of football on Sunday. I was following that trash bag Dallas Houston game. You know why Houston's a 1 in fucking whatever team. How the hell do you get an interception on the 4-yard line and lose yards and don't score? Because you're 1 in 10. Because Lovie
Yeah.
Smith's an idiot. Your best running back's not even on the field. And you decide to go with slow ass Rex Burkhead. That's like me handing the ball to Joe. Joe,
Damn.
here's the handoff, bub. You are Rex Burkhead. You are Rex Burkhead, Philadelphia edition.
No, Rex
That's why-
Burkhead is like Barry Sanders compared to me.
Rex Burkhead is probably like LaDainian Tomlinson in his prime compared to me, because that's how slow I am. I am Rex Burkhead. Just throw me the ball. I'll lose 5 yards. I'll run the ball. I'll lose 3 yards. And then we'll be like, it's Rex Burkhead. I was watching
Terrible.
so much football this Sunday, and that Eagles game was just insane. it showed you the amount of talent that this Eagles team has. Jalen Hurts doing it again. He was – even his incompletions were good passes.
That's funny. You're right, though. Like, it felt like a rocking chair ride from Jump Street. From that, even from, like, just from that first couple possessions, you were like, it never felt like it was ever going to be a question whether it was not going to be an if, but it was going to be by how many. And I'm impressed at the fact that, like, they were able to manipulate the field any way they wanted.
Yeah.
They were able to. The game plan, I think that's the thing that I'm most impressed with on both sides of the field, is like the game plan going into that game. Rich, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Was like basically replicate the game plan that you had in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And man, did they kind of went above and beyond,
They
right?
did.
When they wanted to run the ball, man, they ran it right down their throat. And when they wanted to pass the ball, good Lord, anybody and everybody was able to get wherever they wanted on the field and got some impressive plays, right? The 4th and 7 touchdown pass to Devontae Smith
was beautiful.
Right. Now, granted, horrible coverage from the Giants safety.
Yeah.
But super impressive for Jalen Smith to be able to Jalen Hurts to be able to drop it in right in that window, right in between the DB and the safety, and he basically walks in. You know, Miles Sanders has the really long run for the touchdown. Like, they were able, and giant killer Boston Scott.
Bet him anytime touchdown scorer when they play the Giants, because I guarantee any other week he's probably like minus 2,500. Against the Giants, I guarantee he's like plus 5,000. Like, you have to bet 5,000 to win a buck. Like, because he does it again. He's got 13 career total touchdowns, 9 are against the Giants.
Wait until that last game when that game means nothing.
And Boston Scott has 4
He's
touchdowns.
Starter, yeah.
I'm calling it 4 touchdowns for Boston Scott. No, I mean, you're right. We did whatever we could. I have to bring something up because this is what pissed me off. I was watching a video. I guess it was Von Miller's podcast, and it was Michael Parsons, that jerk off. I love Michael Parsons for the ability of him being so naive and so stupid. Because that's the one thing I love about Michael Parsons. Him being naive and stupid and brainwashed by that terrible fucking offense they have in Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They put up, 54 points one week. Yeah, dude. Okay. Against the Colts. They suck. I mean, yeah, okay. We played them terribly. We did.
Yeah.
You almost lost to fucking Houston. And then you want to go when they say, is Jalen Hurts the MVP? And he goes, well, is it system or is it scheme? Like, come on. Boys, I'm sorry. I need to take this. I'll be right back. I apologize.
No, you're good. But, like, you're right in a sense where, like, you look, Joe, at what they were able to do. Good God. They were able to do – did you hear the interview with Parsons on the Von Miller?
I did. And, I guess I could see both sides of where he was coming from, but he was trying to get something going. He was definitely trying to
100%
stoke the fire or put more gasoline on the fire. Just build that up for the Christmas Eve showdown down there in Dallas. But
and listen, that game's going to be for the number 1 seed. That game is going to be when you say that game is legit going to be for all the marbles. Like, you're going to be able to tell the difference between these two teams, right? And you've seen games where, like, you look at one-to-one games, right? Yes, the Eagles struggled with Houston the same way Dallas did, but they were able to pull away pretty late. Right, Dallas, it legit took for Houston to fall apart, in order for them to pull out that win. And I always have to take a grain of salt with, like, the Cowboys Twitter social media business, because it's like, if they win, all is right with the world, right? But if they lose, it's blame it on everything else,
right.
But, like, I'm looking at this matchup, right? When they were going into this Giants game, man, Saquon Barkley was essentially a non-factor. I mean, good Lord, right? Miles Sanders goes 17 carries, 144, 2 tutties, right? Hurts has 77 on the ground. Boston Scott's got 33. And Hurts also throws for 217 and 2 touchdowns. Like, they were able to legit just do whatever they wanted to do. Who's the guy on defense that impressed you the most? Because the defense, I feel like people aren't talking about.
Well, you know, it was kind of junk time, but still, just the fact that you got a 34-year-old Brandon Graham coming in and showing off. You know, he had that terrible injury last year. You know, he got that fixed up.
Mm-hmm.
He rehabbed. He put in the time. I mean, some guys, you know, they might have been like, you know what, at this point in my career, I think I'm done and I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset. But he rehabbed. He came back. I mean, he's played the season. He's played very well, and then he just exploded on Sunday. You know, he's snuck up. Now he's second on the team in sacks at 34 years old. It really is something to see. I mean, he's an all-timer. He's a fan favorite. He's always positive. I mean, every time you see Brandon Graham, he's got a smile on his face. He's a great locker room guy. He's a winner, and he kicked ass on Sunday.
Yeah, Joe, he reminds me of a guy that like is gonna just be around Philly sports for like the next 25 years. Like, he's just the house that he has in South Jersey. He's just hanging in South Jersey because he's a guy that like and reminds me a lot of Ike Reese.
Yeah.
Right? Just a guy that isn't like he was a decently high draft pick in Ike Reese, right? Brandon Graham was a top of the first round pick.
Right.
But like their career trajectories with the Eagles are very similar, right? They're guys that like played the majority of the beginning of their career with the Eagles. And you know, for what it's worth, Brandon Graham, man, he had every right to just kind of be like, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he has really come back and really taken over that leadership role on a D line that's got a bunch of young guys, right? Hargrave and Davis, right? Those guys, you know, and I think you're only seeing the benefits, you know, from guys like Javon Hargrave when you look at the guys that they brought in, right? The Linval Joseph,
and Ndamukong
Suh, right? Those guys are you're seeing the dividends play, right? And you saw how, like, Jordan Davis comes back, and Jordan Davis is immediately effective. I'm really impressed with where this defense is, and when you look 1-to-1, right? I told Rich last week I was tired of trying to look ahead at the season and try to find losses. Like, to me, I'm looking at this team and going, tell me where the hole is, right? If there's any hole, maybe it's on special teams.
Yeah.
But, like, try to find a hole in the defense, right? It ain't on the D-line. It ain't in the linebackers, and it surely ain't in the backfield. Right, their DBs, even the guys that are second, third, right? They're now on their third string safety. Got to bring back Anthony Harris.
Right. Yeah.
And Anthony Harris they're talking about, you know, he might not even dress because they like what they see from these young guys. Like I'm, you know, CJGJ is probably going to be back within the next couple of weeks. They're targeting that Dallas game on. What's that?
He can't come back. He's not eligible until the Saints game.
Oh, the Saints. That's right.
The Dallas game is game 4, and then that window opens up. Unfortunately, he's not back for Dallas, but That's the game. That's the only game that I'm mildly concerned about that's left on the schedule,
The
because you
Saints?
don't want to have a letdown. You don't want to have does JG rear his ugly head like he did a few games ago. It's you just hope that they're able to keep the same intensity. They're on this winning streak and they keep winning these games. You got to keep that intensity, and you can't succumb to the moment. But I think they have the right coaching in place for that, for the most, well, other than JG, but then you have a guy like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is, I can't even really put what Jalen Hurts is into words, because I think he's, what is he, 23?
Yeah. Young
23
20s.
years old. There's that clip from the sideline in the game.
I
AJ
know
Brown
what you're talking about.
and
Go ahead.
Quez Watkins are yucking it up, and they're laughing, and they're doing this shit, and they're doing, and Jalen Hurts looks like a stone cold killer.
He's just staring.
He's so locked in.
Oh,
And they
man.
asked him about Micah Parsons. He said, "You know what? We're playing the Bears this week." And he wouldn't take any other questions. He said, "Are we going to talk about the Bears or not? Because I'm
Right.
talking about the Bears."
Right, because that's who's
That's
on the
what you
schedule.
want.
It's dialed in.
That's what you want. And you want that. You need that every week and every game. And so
Joe-
far to this point, that's what you get from Jalen Hurts.
Joe, have you checked out the New Heights podcast with the Kelseys?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yo, you got to go back. You got to first of all, the two of them are hilarious together.
Yeah.
But like, I went back and listened to so they had Hurts on for a whole episode for like an hour and a half, and talk about impressive, right? Son of a coach, but a guy that was all from the time that he put pads on, he was taught to just be dialed in, right? And I was listening to an interview with Kevin Nagandi where he's describing an interview with Hurts, and he's like, all the dude wants to talk about is football. You try to ask him about something else,
It goes back to football. Yeah.
It always dials right back to football. When he's talking to the Kelsey brothers, right? Everything is about how do I get better. He basically described how he got into powerlifting basically by accident, just because he felt like trying it, because he saw the offensive lineman basically kind of competing with it and was like,
I want to do that.
I could probably do that. Right. And now he was busting Jason Kelsey's balls about the fact that they're in the weight room and they're describing the squat racks that are in the NovaCare and how they're kind of like right next to each other. And they were both doing the squats at the same time, and they had the same weight on. And he kind of looked over, gave him a look, and was like, are we doing the same thing? Are you supposed to be protecting me? Like, shouldn't be like but you could tell, right, that everything is competitive. Everything is about getting better. And I'll be damned, man. He just looks, like you said, just dialed in every goddamn play, man. And not for nothing, Joe, but like, if you go back and watch some of these tapes, man, it's kind of hard to find mistakes. Like, it's kind of hard to find where he's making a bad read or making a bad throw, right? He's throwing the ball out of bounds, go on to the next play.
Right.
Like, there's a handful of times where he's taking sacks, yes.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, he's not taking a bad play and making it worse.
No.
So, God, just super impressive, right? And then Sanders goes over 1,000 yards in this game. AJ Brown goes over 1,000 yards in this game.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith is going to go over 1,000 yards.
He'll get there.
He'll get there. Right. And Hurts is on track for what, like 4,500 yards passing?
Yeah. It's outrageous. It really is outrageous.
And it's a shame because if Goddard didn't get injured, he probably would have been on pace.
He would have been right up there too. And how about that? We hung 48 on the Giants, and now we might be getting Dallas Goedert back. So
with Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll as your third and fourth highest receivers.
Unreal.
Just wild. But like Joe, in that game, right? I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got the ball to 8 different dudes in the air.
Yep.
Like, and here's the thing I think that people are overlooking. You've had a handful of game. If you go back and look at some of these games, you've had a handful of these games where Hurts isn't even playing at the end of the fourth quarter. They're getting them off the field. Yep. They're getting those guys rest because these games that we thought were going to be like sweats are not.
Or not.
Haven't been at all. Like, and you can miss me with all the conversations of like, who have they played? Like,
you can't say that anymore.
You can't. I mean, you can't say that when you've taken care in consecutive weeks of Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, Saquon Barkley, like
Derrick Henry,
like you've taken care of that. And you remember, Joe, after that Washington game, right? That conversation, that script flipped really quick because we were looking ahead at the quarterbacks going, all right, I'm not scared of Heineke. I'm not scared of Tannehill. I'm not scared of Daniel Jones or Matt Ryan. And it was like, oh shit, I'm looking at the wrong position.
Yep.
Right. And now I'm looking at AJ Dillon. I'm looking at Derrick Henry. I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor. I'm looking at Saquon Barkley going, oh shit, like we got to stop. And it's cool to see how the game plan just flipped. And they were like, oh, you need to stop the run? Got you. Right? Like, I'm going to make Ryan Tannehill beat me. I'm going to make Daniel Jones beat me. I'm going to make these guys that are not nearly as impressive on the field, I'm going to make you beat me. And they surely haven't. And, like, that's where, like, I think, the matchup this week with the Bears is going to be an interesting one. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And so, to go back to this game, the best thing that you saw out of this team was what?
They just kept going. Like they didn't give up. They didn't ease up. They scored in the first half. They scored in the second half. They finished the game. They played a 60-minute game. They gave up that late touchdown at the end, but it was junk time. But that's what you need to see, and that's what you need to see, on a consistent basis as we go toward the end of the season. The one of the issues with the team earlier in the year was, they'd score or they'd have a lead at halftime or they'd score, X amount of points, and then it was like, all right, we didn't really get much in the second half.
Yeah,
it's about consistency, and it's about just being relentless, not easing up. You have to do that. You got to do that every game. They were super successful with doing that against the Giants. I mean, the Giants are frauds.
And listen, they continue to kill that second quarter, man.
Yeah,
that second quarter, and what the pattern is there, right? They win the toss, they defer, and then they kill it in the second quarter.
Yep.
And like they go from being up 7-0 in the first quarter, and then they hang 17 on them in the second quarter, and it's 24-7 at halftime. And then they're getting the ball back, and they go right down the score, and now it's 30. Like, and the game, like that game felt from the time they got the ball in that first quarter, that game felt over. It never felt like it was ever in jeopardy, man.
Right. I mean, the Giants get that junk touchdown when they, just almost killed our punter. I mean, that's really the only way that they were able to muster up any offense in that game.
Yeah, and it's wild because that position now, right? They got to bring they bring someone in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they and kudos to how they bring in
Brett
they bring in a guy who's a professional, right? At this team in this stage, when you're in a position like they're in, where they got to have somebody who can basically, be described as like the punt god, right? That they can be, they need a guy that's just going to be reliable. So that position I'm kind of cool with. If there's any position right now that I'm kind of looking at it kind of side-eyed, is that safety position, right? Because you can see that they're starting to get thin. They bring back Anthony Harris. That's one that I'm just going to keep my eye on. Because, I don't know. I'm just that's the one that I'm like,
I
kind
agree.
of like looking side-eyed at.
I agree. You can never have enough depth, and especially at a position where guys are just guys are getting banged up. They're missing time. They're missing games. It's really it's a battle. It's a war of attrition. The later you get in the season, and you hope that they're able to make up for it. I don't know what is the time frame on Blankenship. Did they say?
So it's not as bad as they thought it was going to be, but it doesn't sound like it's good for this week. There's a possibility, from what I heard, there's a possibility that he could be back for the Dallas game on Christmas Eve. But it's not. I mean, thankfully, right? It's not nearly as bad as they thought it was.
Yeah, it looked like he was done.
It did. It looked like he was done. Well, Joe, with that being said, let's transition. We're going to take a break. We're going to let the guys over at Losing Sucks take over, give some fantasy advice for that round 1 of playoff fantasy football. And we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys, let's do this thing. It's Travis from Losing Sucks. I am here, drunk on broad. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Eagles. They should roll easily over the Bears. Let's get into what we saw week 14 and what we expect to see week 15. Trevor Lawrence has arrived, the QB1 on the week. Big test this week versus Dallas, but he has earned our confidence. I'm good starting him against almost anybody right now, especially when all his weapons are healthy. Jerick McKinnon gives you running back 1 on the week, over 30 points. He now gets the Texans. I understand that he's splitting with Pacheco. I like both of them. Houston is not good, as we all know. I think they both get plenty in this game. Some disappointments from Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, Higgins, Barkley, Swift, Andrews. The list goes on and on. Some of your stars, some of your highest draft picks did not show up for you, but it happens sometimes, and you kind of just have to survive and hope that they bounce back this week. I think a lot of those names will. We mentioned Greg Dulcich last week. He did not come through with a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy got all 3, but he did have another 8-target week, which is all you can ask for from a tight end. If Cortland Sutton misses again, and I expect him to, he did not practice again, being that today is Wednesday, I think Dulcich should be in your lineup again, especially on tight end needy teams. Finally, from week 14, we mentioned the Chiefs. The last 2 weeks, we've said pick up the Chiefs for the fantasy playoffs. They gave you one a week early versus Denver. They were the number 2 defense on the week with 15 points. Now they get Houston, and then they get Denver again. So it is on for the Chiefs. Keep them in your lineup. All right, on to week 15. The Saints come back off of a bye week and get Atlanta, who is a mess right now. Fire up Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara. I expect huge bounce-back weeks for both of those guys. I think we see vintage Alvin Kamara fresh off the bye. I am nervous for the Detroit Lions weapons this weekend against the Jets in New York. The Jets defense is for real. They play very hard. They are very scrappy. I think I'm tempering expectations for Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Swift, Jamal Williams. Everybody gets a big tick down compared to usual for me. Kyler Murray tears his ACL. Everybody saw that in prime time. I'm nervous for everybody on that offense this week except DeAndre Hopkins. Find other options if you can outside of Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore. You may not be able to find a better option on your team for James Conner, but if you have somebody equal who you're going in between the two, probably staying away from Connor if I can. Seattle gets San Francisco. We talked about this on our show last night. We are avoiding Geno Smith and probably Kenneth Walker if you can too. First game back, he is practicing. They expect him to play. He is a stud. But San Francisco gives up by far the fewest points to running backs in the NFL. They are in a rhythm. You just don't score on them. Seattle put up 7 points on them earlier in the year. This isn't just bench no matter what, but again, you can message us on Twitter or tag us in something and ask this guy or Kenneth Walker. Those are the type of questions you're going to have to face. Most of the time, anybody near him, we're going to lean the other way this week. My gut says Buffalo obliterates Miami. Banged up Tyreek Hill and a very fired up Josh Allen. I don't know if you saw the press conference. Somebody said this is not a Super Bowl type offense, and he said okay, and kind of smirked at him like, I guess we'll have to turn it on. And they're going to get some revenge from earlier in the year. Look out, Miami. Quarterback streamers I like over Geno, who we just mentioned. Aaron Rodgers coming off the bye. Ryan Tannehill. Maybe even Daniel Jones. Jones has been pretty consistent. He's had one down week, really, all year. I think Daniel Jones will give you 16 to 20 points. Washington, he just gave you, I think, 18 points against Washington a couple weeks ago. So I'm good with Daniel Jones. I like Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones this week for Cleveland. Baltimore is giving up 30 points per game to opposing wide receivers on the year. So I know it's been a little frustrating for the Browns going through the bringing back of Deshaun Watson, but I think against Baltimore, both of these wide receivers can have pretty decent days. Streamers and fill-ins right now, keep an eye on Damian Harris. If he is out, Pierre Strong is a nice flex. Ramondre Stevenson will probably not play. So I think Pierre Strong without Harris is a nice play. Rex Burkhead in very deep leagues. With Damian Pierce out, you could do worse than Rex Burkhead as a flex. He does catch passes. They should be coming from behind. I expect a double-digit day out of Rex Burkhead. Chris Moore in the same game, I think he's a sleeper too. If Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins are out again, Chris Moore, they don't have other options to give the ball to. He's going to get 8 to 10 targets, 6 to 7 catches. He may not find the end zone. Who knows? That's kind of a toss-up every week. But Chris Moore is seeing enough work to be a wide receiver 3 or a flex for you. Couple of defensive streamers this week. Packers coming off the bye versus the Rams. I know Baker Mayfield made some noise in the final drive against the Raiders, but I think the Packers will be honed in and very sharp in this one. Vikings at home versus the Colts. We know Matt Ryan has no problem turning the ball over. I don't know if you can just stream any defense against them, but the Vikings are a good team. They're at home. I think the Colts will give them 1 or 2 turnovers. All it takes is one play. That's it for us for Week 15. If you have questions, reach out to us on Twitter. We will respond as soon as possible, usually within an hour. Good luck, Birds. Keep it rolling. I think they obliterate Chicago. Yeah, that's it. As we always say, losing sucks. Don't do it.
You and I, Joe, you and I are the only ones back representing the pod. So we got a lot of good stuff going on. I got you. There you go.
We back?
You're back, brother.
All right.
We might have to edit that one out.
I was talking, but no words were coming out.
Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Oh man,
Yeah,
a
lot of good fantasy stuff. You and I are the only ones representing the Drunk on Broad crew in the Golden Mike League. We're the only ones that made the playoffs. You and me.
Yeah, man, it's a good feeling, especially to be totally honest with you, I'm really not that locked in, just with stuff at home and work, and it's kind of just falling into place, man.
That's good. Hey, listen,
it's kind of just falling into place.
Joe, you know what they say about that blind squirrel? Someone's got to find that nut.
That's right.
Good Lord. But listen, the lone female representative, Britt Lifts.
Britt
Coming in strong with the number 1 seed again, man.
killing it.
She's killing it. Won the league last year. So she's at the top. She got the bye. And then we got I'm taking on Nick, the old drunk on Broad guy. And then we got Chip from the Birds, from All About the Birds, taking on Scotty from DSM. And then we got Mike from Fired Up, who you're gonna head up against. So it's good. We got a good variety of pods represented, but it's cool, man. It's a good time, man. I got burned last week. For some reason, I had Daniel Jones in one of my leagues.
Oof.
And I was like, I can't play it because I know the Birds are going to be all on top of them. So I go pick up Huntley, right? Who's starting in place of Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Well, that shit blew up in my fucking face because that lasted about a quarter and a half before he got injured. Good thing for me, in reality, I got blown out, so it really didn't matter. But you know, the fantasy stuff is just it's a cool thing to just kind of, you know, be able to do that be able to take on that fan engagement, man. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It always is.
So we'll see how that plays out. We got but then we got the Birds they're going into Soldier Field right there. Game 2 of a 3-game roadie. Yep. Playing in Chicago. Yeah, they're home. They're going to play in Chicago. What are your thoughts on the Bears just on the surface, right? Justin Fields is a guy, right, that's kind of come on middle of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely made some good strides. You know, his arm has definitely gotten better. He's becoming a little bit more consistent. But I mean, I think the only thing you got to worry about with him is his escapability, because man, he can kill you with his legs.
Yeah,
kill you with his legs.
Yeah, a lot of Hurts comparisons.
Yeah, definitely. But he's definitely got a ways to go. He's definitely got a ways to go. But you know, he also needs. I think he needs another legit pass catcher on the outside to take his game to another level. But I think it's also too. I don't really know. Did they want Fields to run that much? Is he just running for his life and he's just got that escapability? It's where are they at with him? He's just.
The way that they are using Justin Fields right now reminds me a lot of the way that the Eagles used Jalen Hurts last year.
Yeah,
right? They kind of ran out of necessity because it made their offense more effective, and it opened that his ability to be able to run the ball kind of opened up a lot of other doors. So I think that's kind of where Justin Fields is right now, right? And you got David Montgomery in the backfield, right? I think bringing in Chase Claypool was a really good move for them, kind of longer term. But not a whole lot of guys that make me really worried, right? Equanimous St. Brown, Dante Pettis, Cole Kmet, right? These are guys that are not, lighting the world on fire for a Bears team that's kind of fledgling-ish, trying to really kind of find themselves. They're just a young team that needs a whole lot of seasoning and a whole lot more talent to be able to compete, even in a NFC Central that's kind of down.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're kind of just plugging along, and I think they're just expecting to, throw everything on the back of Justin Fields, and it's just, it's not really fair. It's not really fair to him. It's not really fair to the team. Right. To expect him to be able to do that all on his own. But if there's ever a guy who's got escapability that can kill you, that can take it to the house on any play, it's Justin Fields. And that's there needs to be a legit spy on him all game coming up this week, because you can't let him get out of the pocket. You got to be able to he's gonna get some of his runs, but you can't let him break a big one.
No, I think that's that to me is like, we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit with like the keys of the game, but like we can jump right into it because I think that was the kind of thing that I initially thought about with the Bears is like the key is going to be containing Justin Fields, right? Keep him in the pocket, keep him being able to get restricted from where he wants on the field. Rich is back.
Yo, my bad. Sorry, dude.
No, you're good, dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you after the show.
No, you're good.
Yo.
So what are your thoughts on the Bears?
Oh, dude, contain Justin Fields, you win the game. That's pretty much it.
Hey, were you listening to the show?
I was listening. Dude,
Hey,
you guys
you know
were
what?
killing me out there. I was like, I wanted to say stuff, and I'm like, I can't. I'm on the phone.
Did you just pull a Paul Pierce and get into a wheelchair and go off the court because you had to take shit?
Yeah, there wasn't a phone call. I had to poop. Like, listen, dude, I had 2 donuts at work today. 5 cups of coffee is just flying out.
Oh my
I
god!
was like, oh, my cramp. I'm like, Jane, pull me away in the chair. Call my phone. You didn't see me when I was looking. I was looking down a lot. I was texting her. I'm like, can you call me so I can go poop? Otherwise, you don't see the sweat beads.
Oh my god!
No,
Yeah, I mean,
Bill, you contain Justin Fields, you win. I mean, I love. It's so weird. I like watching this Bears team because they're so bad. It just looks like they're playing like football like that we would play as kids. It's just like every big play they have, it's not orchestrated. It's all broken down.
Plays, yeah.
And then like the defense is just like, what the fuck do we do? I can't come up because Justin Fields will try to. Justin Fields is inaccurate as fuck too. So I don't understand why they don't just keep one guy back there when he starts scrambling and everybody runs at him. Because whoever's wide open, there's like a 92% chance that he's going to overshoot them or he's going to miss them because he's not an accurate quarterback. Right. His passing numbers are not good. His wide receiving core is Chase Claypool and Cole Kmet and Aquarius St. Brown, who was of the Aquarius. Equanimous. What a fucking name, dude. He sounds like an ancient scholar. Like, I'm going to be his friend.
Dude, his brother
is Amal?
Amon
Ra. And I believe that is of the Egyptian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backing of that with Ra and Amon Ra. But yeah. So which is really cool. I'm into that geek shit. But you contain Justin Fields, you win. Like, right. In the fourth quarter, I seen like the stat of Justin Fields with the ball down a score on their last drive in their fourth quarter. It's like interception, fumble, interception, punt, interception. And everybody's like, and I forget the one guy was like, tell me this guy's good. And I'm like, he's not. Like, he's a great fantasy quarterback. I heard you just had Trav and losing socks on. He's an amazing fantasy quarterback, but a real quarterback in a bad offense with a bad offensive line. David Montgomery is good, but he's not better than the 2 guys that we faced that we shut down.
Yeah.
If it's not like 32-18, 32-14 birds, like we did something wrong. Yeah. That's how I'm looking at it. It's either you didn't contain Justin Fields, he ran for 2 or 3 touchdowns and 312 yards. He's not beating you through the air, and that defense is not good. I mean, we had their best pass rusher, who's on our IR. Roquan Smith's not there. Young guys will play hard because they want their chance to shine,
right?
But they're not going to beat you. Like, it's the Bears. It's the Bears. They can't beat you.
The bad news Bears.
It's not the Bears. It's the bad news Bears.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Wow. So key plays, Rich. What's your key play? What's your final score?
Man, well, I got 32. I'm going to go 32-18 Eagles. And my key play is going to be, it's got to be something defensive. I'm going to say it is going to be a James Bradbury picking a tutty, which just pulls them away. It's going to be Justin Fields is out scrambling. He's going to just chuck the ball up. Bradbury steps in front of Claypool and takes that shit to the crib.
It's very, very ironic that you say that because I was thinking the same thing, just a different dude. A dude that's kind of been sleeping a little bit, who's just been taking care of business. I was thinking it was going to be a pick six from Slay.
Mr. I want to play wide receiver and get 1,500 yards.
He might get
Yeah,
some snaps
like,
this week.
just- Like to me, like that's a guy that like could really take advantage. He's savvy and has enough experience in the league to be able to take advantage of a young quarterback and maybe take it where that quarterback thinks that like I can fit the ball in this window, and Darius Slay or James Bradbury, either one of them is like, we're going to teach you a little lesson here and kind of, just hop in front of, jump a route and be able to just take it to the house. And I think, maybe it happens in the second half where it allows them to kind of pull away on a possession that maybe after they score a touchdown on offense, maybe the pick six happens, right? And it's a 14-point swing within, a couple of minutes.
Justin Fields is going to go 8 for 23, 1 for 119, and 3 picks. That's going to be his final stat line.
Put that down. Put that stat line down.
Put it on the board. What do you got, Joe?
Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, I guess if we're gonna go score, Rich, I'm probably gonna go somewhere similar to what you did. 30-17 Birds.
Okay.
30-17 Birds, and I think, there'll probably be a pick or two in there. Kazir White maybe get one this week, and I for some reason I'm envisioning a strip sack, maybe return for a score, but a strip sack. Hassan Reddick.
Ooh, I like it.
I love that, dude. I love that.
That's awesome.
Did you guys touch on our Eagles defense? Did you guys touch on that? Did you guys touch on that stat? It's like we're leading the league in sacks, and we're the first.
Where did that come from?
Dude, it blew my fucking mind.
Well, the last 2 weeks they have 13.
Yeah, which is crazy. And this is like the only Eagles team that had 6 defensive line starters with like 6 sacks apiece.
Plus, yeah.
Or 4
Wow.
or 5. Yeah. Like I looked at that stat and it blew me away. And I sent it in my group. I sent it in my friend group chat. I'm like, I sent this and I'm like, imagine if we blitzed.
What's that?
Yeah, like it's kind of funny because I think what the best thing that happened to this Eagles team was losing to Washington. So now I'm looking at that as not like a tarnish, but it was fucking, I hate saying this, but god damn it, shout out to fucking Howie, dude. Because you getting Linval Joseph and Sue and stuffing that run and forcing teams in the second and third and long, like we're getting home now with our pass rush without sending the blitz, which boggles my mind because, I mean, in the beginning of the season, it was so hard for us. We weren't getting anything from the front four, like they were not getting home and we were just getting gash. It's just crazy when you see the adjustments. And that's one thing that I'm actually enjoying from Nick Sirianni and seeing from Howie. I still haven't seen it actually on Gannon's side, so I'm still not giving him credit for it. I think Sirianni's going, okay, well, if we address this hole, this is what's going to make our team better. And Sirianni just being able to delegate and to, oversee what's going on. And Howie, I think he's listening how he's listening to him.
Yeah. Which
is fucking crazy because I have no words. I'm just flabbergasted because those two guys are an extreme upgrade, and look what they've done to help bolster this defensive line.
Yep.
They're this team, and like I don't like saying this, but this team's a fucking juggernaut.
Yeah.
It is death, like we talk about every week. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and that's why that Micah Parsons shit pissed me off so much because he's like, is it system or is it him? He's like, well, part system, part hurts. Yeah, but you still need a good quarterback to run that system.
Yeah.
And they're beating you differently every single week. So you can't tell me that Hurts isn't orchestrating this offense to its full potential because he is. Fuck, if the system's good enough, you still need somebody to be able to orchestrate it. Right. Go ahead, Don. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, Rich, you look at the last 3 weeks, right? The Packers game, they put up 40 points. The Titans game, they put up 35 points. And then the Giants game, they put up 48 points. Like they are putting up legit points, but they're doing it in a million different ways. So like, if you want to argue that this is that Hurts is a product of this system, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's still fucking killing it.
He's still the MVP. Yeah.
Right. And he doesn't have like game manager or average stat. It's like
Right.
he has MVP caliber stats. Like, what is Micah Parsons talking about?
He's got Dak.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And this is that's like my second like thing when I'm looking at it is if I were to tell you the Eagles won by the margin that they did, okay, against the Giants, we put up 48 points. How many passing yards did you think, just not looking at it, how many passing yards do you think our quarterback had?
It looked like it was close to 3.
I would say he probably threw for like 350 yards, right?
3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, right?
Because that's what Mahomes does, right? When we see games that are blowouts, we automatically go to, let's compare this to what Patrick Mahomes does. Because Patrick Mahomes throws for 350 yards every week because that's their system, right?
That's their system, right?
That's their system. And he's an extremely talented. I'm not discrediting Pat Mahomes. He is a fucking generational talent. I love that guy.
Yeah,
quarterback. But when I'm telling you that Jalen Hurts did this with 217 yards passing and 2 picks, but then ran for 77 on the ground and had 2 touchdowns, not picks, with 2 touchdowns, and then had 1 rushing touchdown with 77 yards rushing, you'd be like, well, how'd you score 48 points? Well, our team's that fucking good. We utilize our running backs. We have our strengths. We see your weaknesses. This is what we exploit. If you see a Chargers versus Chiefs game, Patrick Mahomes is throwing for 400 yards because that's how they're winning the game. They don't have that running attack that the Eagles have. So can you say Patrick Mahomes is the most valuable to that team? To that team, yes. When they're down, my man throws it. When they're up, my man throws it. The ball is in Patrick Mahomes' hand all the time.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts single-handedly is orchestrating this offense perfectly. And that's what an MVP does. He doesn't need to go out there and be the only guy on the field. And I think that's why people get lost in the whole MVP thing. You look at individual stats minus how you're orchestrating your game, how you're actually performing on the field. Is Jalen Hurts the MVP? Yes, because I don't think any other quarterback besides Patrick Mahomes can run this offense because they're not skilled. They're not, and I'm going to say this, half these quarterbacks aren't smart enough to do this.
Yeah, you're right.
Jalen Hurts is getting smarter, and he's getting better, and he's elevating his game every single week. Go ahead, Joe.
And he takes care of the ball.
And himself.
He slides. He's not like, he wants that yard. He'll get that yard and step out of bounds. Or he'll slide. Or he'll throw the ball away. Like, this is, like, he's become, like, so cerebral with everything that he does in the run game, in the pass game, calling the plays, reading the defense. Oh, he can't read the defense. Well, guess what? He's reading the hell out of the defenses this year. He's got it, and he's showing it every single game.
Yeah. People were afraid that Mahomes was going to fall off without Hill. That's not true. Mahomes slings the ball to whoever's open regardless. Right. Hill was just a target monster on a great offense. Best wide receiver with the best quarterback, they're going to be a problem. People are saying, A.J. Brown is making Jalen Hurts. No, not really. I'm pretty sure that Jalen Hurts is making this whole team just better. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill sucks without A.J. Brown, but that's a huge blow. Kyler Murray sucks in general. I mean, RIP, he got hurt. I did say RIP to him because his ACL is fucking gone and he's done. But he couldn't get it done without DeAndre Hopkins.
No.
Jalen Hurts could get it done last year without A.J. Brown. It was just a lot harder, and he relied more on his legs. Yeah. You can't fault people for being in good situations. If the Cowboys were that fucking good, you have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and whoever the fuck else you want to throw out there. They should have won Super Bowls last year and the year before.
Yep.
So
they certainly had enough talent.
They had enough talent. But when it comes down to quarterback play, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over about 94%, except Josh Allen and most likely Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But Jalen Hurts has the potential to be those guys. He doesn't have that crazy arm strength, roll to the right, sidearm sling, no look, but he doesn't have to do that.
It's about winning.
It's about winning, taking care of the ball.
Yeah, I think like when I look at this, like I'm looking at that and going, like it's not 1-to-1. Like I look at what he's doing on the field, and then I look at the other guys in this league, and every week he just see the separation just gets greater and greater, right? Because, and I'm also looking, when I look at the Eagles Cowboys comparison, do I want Mike McCarthy, who has a history of just incessantly choking and blowing leads, whether it's late in the season or in the playoffs? Or do I want Nick Sirianni, who throughout this season has shown that his game plans going into each game are like precision. Like, I'm going to dissect your worst aspect of whatever side of the ball I want to, and I'm going to take advantage of it in the running game, in the passing game, with my quarterback, with my running back, with my tight ends, with my backup tight ends, with whoever the hell I want to. And I think going into the playoffs, that to me is the thing that's separating this group and this team from the other teams in the NFC. Because frankly, I'm honestly, up until last week, I was more worried about the 49ers than I was the Cowboys. Now, do I think that Brock Purdy would come in to Lincoln Financial Field in an NFC Championship game and be? I don't envision that happening. And now with the injury to Debo, right? You don't know the timeline for when he's going to be back. Probably closer to the playoffs than.
Everybody knows Chris McCaffrey's going to go down at some point.
Mr. Glass.
So,
it is who he is. They have a terrible training facility. It's the same fucking shit that MetLife's made out of. So they better be putting that boy in bubble wrap. Dom, like you said, I'm not worried about any of these teams.
No.
My biggest. What'd you say?
Artificial grass.
Artificial grass. We need the artificial grass. Isn't that turf?
No, it's grass.
It's grass.
It's not real.
It's not real. Wait, turf's real? No. It's just not grass. Joe, we got to start a comedy podcast. We'll just talk about artificial grass because it would just fucking blow my mind.
We do.
I'm not afraid. The biggest takeaway for me on Sunday it wasn't the fact that the 49ers are good. It's the fact that Tampa Bay can't score points.
They're so bad.
It's just Tampa Bay's offense is so out of sync because Tom Brady's getting older and their offensive line is absolutely trash. Tom Brady has no time to throw. He looks terrible. This is why Tom Brady's always been good when he had a great defense and a great offensive line to where he could less than a second get the ball out. It's hard to do that when your best offensive linemen are out.
Is Garoppolo supposed to be back for the playoffs?
No, he's done for the year.
He's done.
Yeah, he's having surgery. He's done for the year.
Okay, so they originally said something about he might be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a leap and downs.
Okay.
And even then, I'm not worried because Jimmy G's not fucking scary.
Jimmy G, yeah. Jimmy G at Lincoln at the link in 25-degree weather in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's probably not good.
That doesn't intimidate me.
No, not
I
at
mean,
all.
the Vikings showed me who they were.
We get home field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the greatest feeling in the world, man. It's like instant flashback to the Super Bowl year.
It is.
It's like
It
that
truly
place
is.
is ready to absolutely explode.
Our biggest threats are in the AFC. Like, that's where it comes down to. The Vikings showed me a lot of what they're made of. Listen, Detroit's playing everybody super close because that is a team who wants to win. They're just 2 or 3 pieces away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it showed me Minnesota's offensive line is not good.
Mm-mm.
You just added Sue and Joseph.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook ain't running nowhere. Okay, Justin Jefferson, let him get 10 for 213. They'll score 6 points. I loved how it was Justin Jefferson had an amazing week. What the fuck was the final score?
Yeah.
And this is why individual stats in sports, especially a team sport, don't fucking matter. The guy could add 40 catches for 1,000 yards. If you score 6 points, it's not going to help you win.
Nope.
You let this dude eat. You shut out. You literally say, "Hey, Justin Jefferson, Okay, you can beat us. We'll put 2 guys over there. We'll shut down all the other weapons so Kirk can only look your way. And Dalvin Cook ain't going nowhere. That's a recipe for disaster. It's the Rams recipe this year when Cooper Kupp was in there. Hey, let's let Cooper Kupp be inefficient as fuck, and they'll never beat us. They didn't beat anybody.
No, you're right.
And Dallas is not terrifying. They should have lost to Houston.
Which was wild.
Tony Pollard's better than Zeke, but hey, keep giving Zeke the ball, bro. I'm good with that. We're in Jerry's world now, cuzzo. Let's get it done. Wow.
Jerry.
Wow.
Well, gentlemen, on that note, take us out. Let's do final thoughts.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh man, why do you got to put me on the spot like that?
It's always me first, and I'm always winging it. That's some deep shit.
Well, listen, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Don.
Like to me today, right, gave me another reminder about how important that mental health piece is. With the news that came out with the DJ from
Twitch.
From Twitch, man, and to hear that it was something where, you know, he took care of it himself. It just hurts, man. And you know, to know that he left behind kids and a family, man, just it makes you pause, and it makes you kind of take stock of the blessings that you have, the family that you have, the people that you have, and really, you know, in times like this where the perception of the holidays is really, really positive for everybody, to really take the time to check in on your people, because that mental health piece is really, really important. And you know, I shared something out there. There's a national hotline for people in need. 88988lifeline.org is a place where you can get in touch with somebody if you feel like you need some help. Man, just reach out. There's people there that care about you. There's people there that support you. So
I agree. That shit sucks. Joe, go. Joe, you go. I want to go last.
You want to go last? Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of what Don was talking about. You know, it doesn't get talked about enough. It doesn't get handled enough. It just doesn't get discussed and worked out. And, you know, people sometimes they don't want to have these conversations, or they're too hard, or it's deemed, I don't know,
socially unacceptable.
Exactly. You know, and it has this stigma of being weak, and it's certainly not the case. I mean, the strong rise above by speaking out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the way that you're able to deal with these kind of things and help yourself overcome it, because a lot of people don't reach out, and it's, you know, sometimes it's too late. You know, like I was saying with my aunt when I was, you know, 4 years old. I mean, we were kind of close, but I was so young that I don't think I really realized the magnitude of it until, you know, I was a little bit older. But it's like you feel you want to help people, but if you don't know what their struggles are or what they're dealing with, it's, you know, you feel like you're disconnected. So it's you want to help, and you want to be there for people, and you just hope that they're there, and they're willing to accept the help and you know, and take it in before it's too late. Because a lot of people, and the people that I've dealt with that have had depression or were suicidal or had suicidal thoughts, they felt like they had the weight of the world on their shoulders. They didn't know, and they didn't want to be a burden to anyone. They don't want to dump whatever they were dealing with on someone else, because they didn't want to be a burden, and they couldn't. That burden crushed them. You know, that burden was crushing them, or it was just too much, and they couldn't dig themselves out of it, and it was too late. You know, it's an emotional thing for me, and it's an emotional thing for a lot of people, but it's something that, you know, has to be brought to the forefront, and it has to be talked about in this setting, in any second setting, a one-on-one setting, no matter where you are or what you're doing, there's always somebody there to talk to, and there's always somebody there to help you.
True.
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback. Both of you guys said it great, but like we had this conversation at work today, and just, I looked at his social media and he looks so happy, and I'm just turning around. I'm like, what do you want him to post? He's in the public's eye. Do you want him to post that he's sad? And then it's, oh my God, a black guy with all this fame is fucking sad. That'll be the first comment that pops up in his shit. Because let's be real, you can't be a black man, Asian man, Muslim man. Like, you can't be a white man and be sad, because everybody's like, oh, you're a pussy, you're soft, you're this. Oh, just another guy crying. It's sad. Like, that's not the way, like, we need to be treating people. And it goes back to I love Christmas because hope, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's like my main thing. Like, I look and I see like the lights and I see like the happiness that like it brings me when I'm not feeling right. I haven't been feeling right for, a few weeks, but I press on. Like, talk to you guys about it. I talk to my friends about it. But like in the public eye and at work, like, my boss came up to me. If people don't, obviously nobody knows. You guys know. We had to bring my mom into my rehab place today. Like, that's a hard, not like a drug rehab. It's a subacute long-term facility. So my mom has Huntington's disease, which is an awful progressive disease of the your neurosystem, and it's very progressive. When it hits a stage, it'll just zoom up, causes dementia, gait deficiencies, loss of balance, incontinence, slurred speech, trouble swallowing. So it kind of affects your whole neurosystem and your just not good, just not fun. And you see people suffering, and you see people going through stuff, and just like, we needed to get her in to hopefully, help with some of the stuff. See if we can inspire her to be better and to help herself. My dad was there with her. I was there with her. My whole building came in at St. Mary's. Shout out to that whole team, because they're fucking amazing. Came in to help out. And it's, like, it's hope, right? It's hope. That's what we hang on to. Like, you can be sad, but if you have your outlet to get it out, you know, you need to talk to people, because it will eat you up. Yes, was I feeling anxious as fuck when I'm constantly looking down at my watch and I'm like waiting for 2:00 for my mom to roll up? And of course, I get off the elevator at the perfect time. My dad and my mom are in the lobby, and I'm like, I'll go out and get them and like bring them back. And it's just like, I had a shitty feeling all day. I didn't feel good. My boss, Bianca, like, fantastic woman, like, awesome, probably one of the most awesome people I've ever met, looks at me today and she's like, are you all right? I'm like, fuck no, I'm not all right. And she's like, and that's okay. And it's like, that's the understanding that you want from people. It's like, I can be honest with you. I'll never be honest with my son. And I can't do that to him, because he doesn't need to carry that burden. No. So he sees happy Rich, happy dad all the time. My shit's behind closed doors. So he knows it's not okay to cry, or it's not okay to be sad. 'Cause I tell him all the time, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel those emotions. But me as a person, I can't sit there and have him witness that, because he doesn't need that. He's 4. Like, they know rainbows, butterflies, dinosaurs, park ranger, whatever the fuck he loves. He knows. And I won't bring that down on him. Yeah. But when other people have the courtesy to reach out, when they can just like look at you and look in your eyes and say, hey, I know you're not doing all right. You want to tell me you're doing all right? No, I don't lie about that. And that's why I sound like a broken record to people I see when I know they're visibly sad, and I keep asking, are you okay? And they go, yeah. But I'm like, but are you okay? Like, talk to me. Like, I'm here. Like, I don't have to be your best friend. I don't have to be your brother. I don't have to be your cousin. I don't even have to fucking know you. Right. But if you're having a bad day and I ask, are you okay? If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. Yeah. But just know there are people out there who want to listen to you, and people who care. Not everybody's a dickhead. Not everybody hides behind a keyboard. We're real people with real emotions. We keep it as real as shit as we can on this show, because it's 3 to 4 guys a week who care about each other, who care about their fellow people. It's why we do what we do. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed. You can fucking reach out to any of us on social media. I'll listen to anybody. I'd rather listen to you than you do something that you shouldn't do. Yeah. Because there's hope. And that's the meaning of everything is hope. And keeping that feeling in you is what will push you to do better, and will push you to strive for more. Just everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sad.
You
ain't alone.
You can't fix yourself, or you can't fix someone else if they're not here.
No.
So, take that with a grain of salt and say, it's not worth it to. I'm worth it, and I need to ask for help. I need to reach out. That's being the bigger person. That's how you win.
And Philly, we're here for you.
Yeah, we got you.
Like we promise we're here for you. We're 4 great dudes, because Jason will definitely be there for you. One of the most stand-up guys I've ever come to know will be there for you. You need something. You need to reach out. Rich, you can hit me up at Dickie C or Richie Conroy on Facebook. Whatever you need. You have Don right there. Mr. Seaway Science at Drunk on Broad. Joe, hit him up. Like, we're there for you. Like, we're not just goofy ass dudes. We're people too. So
yeah, truly.
we understand the real world struggles.
We're mostly goofy ass dudes though.
Mostly. I'm fucking crazy. And Philly, it takes you that time. You stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. Everybody, listen, if you don't tune in next week, if we do an episode next week, I know Christmas is right around the corner. It will be episode 99. I don't want to wish anybody a fuck you except Deshaun Watson and except what's the guy that we don't like? Davion Taylor.
Wait, you mean you, Rich? Come on.
Yeah, it's me. It's me.
Have some holiday spirit.
I will. Hanukkah starts next week.
That's
so
right.
Shout out to my friends who celebrate Hanukkah. It's the celebration season. It's the festive season. Have hope. Go Eagles. Fly Eagles fly. Philly, we love you.
Go Birds.
Go Birds, baby.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.
Vonsey Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000-square-foot microbrewery with a 2,500-square-foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer garden in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Vonsey family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Vonsey Brewing is located at 1210 Stanbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown teams.
Latourne's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to Latourne.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.